Have you ever opened a message, read every word, formed the perfect reply in your head, and then never sent it? If yes, you're not lazy, you're not rude, and you're definitely not the only one. Here's the psychology behind people who read messages and reply in their head. Their brain wants closure without social effort. When you mentally reply, your mind feels like the task is already done. Psychology calls this a kind of cognitive completion. Your brain gets a small sense of relief, even though nothing was actually sent. That's why hours later, or even days later, you suddenly realize, wait, I never replied. To your mind, the conversation feels finished, but to the other person, you disappeared. They often overthink simple communication. For some people, replying is never just replying. It becomes, how should I say this? What tone do I use? What if I sound dry? What if they misunderstand me? This is where self-awareness turns into social pressure. The more emotionally intelligent someone is, the more they may overcalculate how their words will land. So instead of sending a normal reply, they pause, they edit, they delay, and eventually the message becomes mentally heavier than it ever needed to be. They may feel emotionally drained, even if they care. A lot of people assume slow replies mean disinterest, but psychology says that's not always true. Some people genuinely care. They just don't have the emotional energy to engage in that moment. Replying means switching attention, matching tone, holding a conversation, being mentally available. And when someone is already overwhelmed, even a small message can feel like another demand on their nervous system. So they reply in their head because, emotionally, that's all they had energy for. They struggle with avoidance more than intention. This habit is also linked to avoidance behavior, not because the person wants to hurt anyone, but because delayed messages create guilt, and guilt makes the reply feel even harder. Now the message isn't just a message anymore, it's a reminder of delay, of awkwardness, of, I should have answered earlier, so they avoid it again and again. Not because they don't care, but because the emotional weight keeps growing. They usually live more in their inner world than people realize. People who do this often have rich internal dialogue. They think deeply, rehearse conversations, imagine reactions before they happen. In personality psychology, this can connect to introversion, high sensitivity, or anxious thinking patterns. Their inner world is so active, sometimes it replaces action. They don't mean to ignore people. They just process life internally first and externally later. So if you read messages and reply in your head, it doesn't automatically mean you're careless. It may mean you're mentally overloaded, emotionally cautious, or stuck in a loop where thinking feels like doing. And once you understand that, you can start catching it, because awareness breaks patterns. If this felt a little too accurate, you're not alone. And if you want more videos that decode the hidden psychology behind everyday behavior, subscribe now.